Okay, right, now we're going to look at basically the secret of all motorsport is about tyres, and Ben's going to go through what you need to know, what you need to get onto the track, and what will get your car round really, really well.
Yeah.
Over to you, Ben.
Yeah, right. We have the Schumacher tyres under the contact branding, as you can see on the table.
Okay, and these are in different compounds, aren't they?
Yeah, we've got quite a few different compounds, ranging from very, very soft right through to a real hard tyre. So what we've got first is the JSWG. That's a very, very soft compound that we use in the rain and in the damp conditions.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and they are like bath sponges.
Okay, so they're very, very soft.
Very soft, yeah.
Okay, to try and get some grip in the rain.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Very, very, very soft. Right, onto the next tyre. Again, a soft tyre, the JSEG. This is what we run on the inside rear of the car when it's very, very oily.
Okay, so the track as in when the oil is coming up through the tarmac, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
On a real hot day, when the oil's coming through the tarmac, we run these on the rear of the car.
Okay.
And then onto one of the new tyres for 2019, the new JS30G. This is another compound that we can run on the rear of the car.
So would we call this, so basically we've gone from, in layman's terms, and those that maybe follow Formula One and everything, we've gone from the wet tyre to the super soft, then to the soft, then we're going to the intermediate, which is, and they're graded by number, so we've gone from the SWG to the SE to the 30 onto the 40.
Yeah, that's right.
And then onto the 42, which is probably the hardest tyre you'd use on the rear?
Yeah, it's one of the hardest tyres. We have a 45 as well. If we visit an abrasive track, we have a 45 as well.
Okay.
But the best way I look at these is the ones with the numbers on are like tyre pressures.
Yes, so your compound equals to tyre pressure.
Yeah.
So usually, we know with foam tyres, some people use numbers, some people use colours. So it depends. Usually, the bigger the number, the harder the tyre.
Yes.
That's the usual flow of things. Okay.
And it's good that the contact branding, the way the numbers work, it is very, very precise on the shores.
Okay.
As the pressure.
And then we move on to the front. We've laid these out on purpose. So those are what you would use predominantly on the rear, and in the UK that is probably the range that you would have. And what this also means as well is you may only use one of these tyres out of the packet at a time, depending on what you want the car to do.
That's right, yes. Yeah. And also these rear tyres can be used on the front as well. It's
yes,
not
you can rotate the tyres around.
It's not specific just for the rear.
And also now onto the front tyres, which are here. Again, the softest you may use is probably a 40.
Yes.
But with this one, as you can see here by the part number, it's a 40 FG, which means it's a front.
Specific for the front.
For the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fronts won't work on the back.
Yes.
But the backs will work on the front.
The fronts, yes. You can always find too much grip.
Yes. Yeah.
On the front.
Yeah.
So we've taken some out the packet. So can you just go through the?
Yeah. So this is the softest front tyre that we run for low grip circuits. Then we're ranging to the 42 as well, which is slightly harder compound again.
It's a good job I wrote the 42 on the back of my tyre as I took it out of the packet, because you did.
Very much so. I had to look myself.
Everybody's got a little preference, because if you were to chuck these all in the box, as you can see, they all look the same.
Yeah.
So it's important that you mark your tyres.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
I'll let you know that the next one is a 45.
And then we have the 45, which is a very hard tyre again.
Okay.
Specific for the outside front.
All right, and then finally we've got the hardest tyre you probably get, which is
The 50.
the 50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and just thinking like tyre pressures again, that is,
Yeah.
it's a really hard tyre.
But that's only part of the story, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is where I'll push your buttons a little bit. All good in good taste, obviously. But the compound is one thing, but it's oval racing, isn't it?
Yes.
And as in the film, tyres is what wins races. So we did say we were going to throw some bits in
real
like that.
truth in that,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, and obviously Cole Trickle didn't have a clue. For those that have watched Days of Thunder and had to have an education lesson, as I have had an education lesson about tyres. So, Ben, talk to me about stagger.
Stagger, right. Because we race on an oval circuit, we're always turning left, always. So if the tyres are all the same size, the car is not going to maximise the corner speed around the bends. We have to physically force the car to turn left.
It kind of, if I can term this in a way, it's you have to physically force the car to naturally turn left.
Yes.
Anybody else, if it was circuit racing, the car would be pulling to the left, it's pulling to one side.
Yep.
If you're driving on the road, your tracking is out, you need to go to a garage. We do this on purpose.
Yes, yeah. We run different size tyres on the outside of the car to the inside of the car.
Okay. And as always in filming, if I just pass these across, here's some that we've prepared earlier. Now these tyres is what I have actually run on my car. So for a bit of banter and a bit of fun, do you think you can tell the audience which tyre goes where on my car?
Yes.
That's a confident yes as well.
Yeah.
So literally the tyres that are on my car, we've put a brand new set on to show you how a car would look statically. Okay, now I've just given Ben 4 tyres that I know what they are and where they came off. So Ben, would you kind of explain why that tyre goes where for this circuit, or
Yes.
for nearly any oval circuit, please?
Yeah, well this is my basic setup for all of the tracks now. So the outside front tyre and the outside rear tyre are at full size, 70mm. And then, as Alan said, these are brand new out of the packet. The car would work like this.
You'd go round the
Yeah.
track, but
You
there's
would-
going round and going round, isn't there?
You wouldn't be very competitive at all.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the best handling car in the world. But can you see the size difference?
Now, if I was to get some paper out that had got certain figures or numbers on it, I could probably bet you that not only could you tell me which tyre it is, you could tell me roughly what size that tyre actually is as well.
Yes, that tyre is 58mm.
And if we want to challenge that, we have got a set of digital calipers that we can measure that with. But yeah, that is front tyre, and you can see it's distinctively smaller, okay, to lean the car in going round a left-hand corner. So, okay, 1 out of 4, you've got 3 to go.
So that one's the inside front's at 58,
Okay.
and now the inside rear is at 60.
There's no catching this guy out. Okay. All right, so that's 2. And what compound do you think that tyre is?
I would believe that could be a 40 by the feel of
40.
it, a rear 40.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And you can really see the difference in size.
Okay,
Really
so the outside tyre does a lot on an oval car, doesn't it?
Very much so.
It's a busy tyre.
Yes, yes. This tyre here, it gets the maximum amount of abuse.
And yet you'd think if you wanted more traction, you'd go softer. And yet that isn't the case, is it?
No.
Because of the work that it goes through, you actually want a tyre that's consistent and will withstand the forces, because any car will try and throw itself off a track when you try to go into a corner. We're deliberately throwing it into a corner and wanting it to go round.
Yes.
So by understanding your tyre, and not just the compound, and as I've asked you before, in fact, at the last meeting, I asked you, I said, what's more important, compound or stagger? And you said stagger, because if the car is staggered correctly, the compound almost is secondary, because the car geometry-wise is set.
Yes, that's right, that's right. And you would think if you need more grip, you would go softer on the compound, but that's not always the case. Not with these cars.
Okay.
Because if you go too soft on the outside rear, the tyre will fold in and the rubber will bend away and you will lose traction. You see the sidewall flexing? It's a soft...
it is about understanding the products, and like, you know, tyres do win races.
Yeah.
And just because it's a foam tyre and just because it's a model car doesn't make it any less. In fact, it's more important because it's scaled down, and yet you're still travelling at quite a rate, quite a knots.
Yeah, and especially with the amount of power these cars have got.
Yeah.
They're wrong tyre size, and you just cannot get the maximum.
Yeah, you can't get the max out of it.
You can't get the power down.
And also as well, it's like full-size racing. Are kind of governed by a size of tyre, aren't they?
Yeah.
And yet we can play about with anything from, like you say, from 70mm brand new out the packet, down to 58mm or even smaller. If you were to scale that up to, say, a 15 or 16-inch wheel on a car, that's very dramatic.
If it was,
in fact, you probably wouldn't be able to get away with it, would you? Really?
Well, no. The maximum stagger we run is between 12 and 13 mil across the rear of the car.
Yeah.
Now, if you're scaling that up compared to like your full-size stock cars, them guys are running 5 to 6 inch of stagger.
Yeah.
So it is representative, but you know, 12 mil is not a great deal.
So we're just to clarify, the stagger is when if the outside of the car is higher than the inside of the car.
That's
so
correct.
Your ride height alters, which forces the car to lean inwards. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Now you'd think that would make the car virtually impossible to drive, but as you've witnessed yourself, when the car's not quite right, you can still drive. But when the stagger is perfect, the car drives itself.
Yeah, the car will naturally go round a corner,
and it'll still go in a straight line as well.
Yeah, basically, I think, as I've found, the better the car goes around the corner, you are just straightening the car up and letting it roll round the corner. Yeah. And for me, the way I drive, the more I can get the car to do for me, the more I drive within myself, so I'm not forcing and chasing the car. Other drivers like the car to be edgy, or what we would call very loose, where the car will almost spin out, and it's down to them to control. I noticed with your driving style, there's virtually no steering lock.
No.
Your car looks like it's not steering, and yet the car is going around the corner and carrying speed.
And it literally, when my car is set correctly, I'm into the corner and just very, very gently on the steering, and then the car takes itself around.
Yeah. And obviously, the straighter the wheels, the faster the car's going.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
2 tyres left to go then, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 tyres, front and rear.
Yes.
Let's now see which ones are correct.
Right. So the outside front 45.
Okay, and the 2 that I selected, that
as standard. So we have the 45 and the 50.
45 and the 50. Okay, so that's what we would select on the front, because the rear one is already a 14's already bolted on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the harder tyre on the outside will give me stability and understeer.
Yes.
Okay. And then if I want more steering, I can come down. But like you say, maybe if I picked a smaller tyre for the inside, as opposed to changing the compound, would have more of effect.
Yes, it would. And today, like at the track we're at, the track surface is very green. So you can use the harder tyres today.
If we just quickly pan round, because we are trackside, you can see it's a fantastic circuit. There's 5 circuits that are in use, I believe, at the moment. There's here at Leicester. There's also Ada, which is just outside Brighton.
Yep.
There's Hastings that have a circuit.
That's correct.
Keighley is up and running in Yorkshire.
Yeah.
So have I missed anybody else?
Notts and Derby.
Sorry, my apologies. Notts and Derby, which is just off the M1, isn't it?
Junction 26.
Between Notts and Derby.
Yeah.
So those are the circuits. While it's oval racing and we're all going around in one direction, every track has its unique character, and this is where stagger and compound and understanding the surface. And if we just zoom into the track, you'll see how green the track is. And when we mean by green, there's very little to no grip, and it's quite dusty. So if I just pan up the track, you may just be able to see some lines where a car went round earlier on, and you can see it's gone through the dust. More there, you can see the lines. So that's where there's dust that's been laid, because it's been windy and it's a gravel car park. And for racing, so when you first go out, there's no grip as such, so you'll be balancing the car, getting it round. So you probably wouldn't do a great deal car setup wise because the grip isn't in the circuit.
No, that's right. That's right. You really need like the dust to be gone first before you can really tune the car to the circuit.
Okay, excellent. Right, well, thank you for an insight into basic setups. That pretty much, apart from minor little adjustments which we've already previously covered in other episodes, with obviously the rear suspension, the front suspension, now the key factor with the tyres and everything, I think it's time to make some noise, get it fired up, and we're going to put some laps in on film, and then what we're going to do is we're going to conclude with a short interview from a young person that's come back into the sport, and then we will get some footage of a live race meeting, and maybe, hopefully, depending on how noisy it is, maybe we'll get a chance to interview some of the drivers and get their view of how good this sport is. Ben, as always, absolute pleasure.
Brilliant.
And we'll catch you later on in the video.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Al. Nice one.
Yeah.
How are we doing?
Very well, thank you.
Okay, so we're purposely filming this in a noisy environment to test the quality of our audio. So, but we have a youngster out there. Okay, if I can just zoom in. Can you tell me a bit about Max, please?
Yeah, Max is the oldest boy from my youngest brother.
Okay.
Very confusing, I know. Max was the junior world champion when he was 9 years old, winning it down in Hastings. Was on the front of the local newspaper as a superstar.
Excellent.
And he's just making his return back into the sport now.
Okay, so predominantly he's coming back to do 8?
Yeah, predominantly, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
But he'll also turn up at your local club at rugby and do...
He's still doing the 112 F1s as well.
Excellent. Super stuff.
He's just about back to being a red top at rugby, which is no mean feat all by itself. But yeah, he's done really good.
Excellent. And he's how old?
He's now 13.
13, so it's great. This is what we want to try and promote, is youngsters into our sport and get more young people involved, because we're not going to be around forever, are we?
No, that's right. That's right. We need new people. We need young blood.
Yeah. And as we've covered in some of our episodes, it's fun, it's family orientated, it's engaging. It's quite an economical class, isn't it? Most people, it's only a one-day race meeting.
Yes, it is. It's not a great expense to come with a family and have a day out racing. Yeah. It's not a major expense.
Compared to other activities.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's quite cheap.
Quite cheap, really.
Quite cheap.
We'll take some, see if we can get some cool footage. So this is his winning championship winning car.
It's just been resting for a few years, waiting for him to come back and race again.
We're doing what? 40, 45 miles an hour, are we?
Yeah,
roughly?
Yeah. Because his track's quite short, probably maybe 35 mile an hour. Whereas the tracks we're racing on in Holland are twice the size. I reckon we're maybe touching 50 mile an hour.
Well, it doesn't look like he's lost any of his natural talents, because he's turning in the laps, and it's like, okay, well, he's going round on his own. Anybody can do that with a model car. But even so, the track is green, as you can see by the lines here. There's very little grip. He's not been out for a while, so it's clear the youngsters do have the edge over us.
Yeah, it's not going to take him long before he's actually beating me now, I think.
That will be an interesting final, actually.
Yes. We raced at Hastings at the weekend, and he was hassling me. Yeah, he was really hassling me. Yeah.
Or maybe when he gets the car set up a bit better.
Yeah, that's right.
That's one thing. I mean, you do a lot for this sport, Ben, and it is recognised. But there isn't anybody you won't help or share or keep them on the track.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And
I'll break your car on the track and then help you fix it afterwards. That's the way it is.
That's quite a cool thing.
And that's very, very similar to the full-size stock cars. Them guys virtually kill each other out on the track, and then they're helping each other in the pits afterwards.
Yeah.
It's a kind of crazy mindset, really.
And yet, there is a lot of oval racing out there, isn't there?
Yeah,
it's just never publicised. It doesn't quite get the glory it deserves, does it?
We're like a hidden sport almost. We're like a hidden sport. And I swear, between me and you, Al, we're gonna bring it out into the open.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's had its times behind curtains. It now needs to, because it's engaging, it's rewarding, it's helpful. I mean, if I pan round, you see at the bottom there, bottom of the circuit, that area there has some picnic tables, and most race meetings, club or otherwise here, that's full of people watching.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And then obviously if we pan round, it's a beautiful venue. If I look over there, you can see there's a lake, and then there's a restaurant and bar here. but it's open most times when you're racing. So you can come along, you can watch, you can have a drink, you can have something to eat, you can chill out, and you can watch the racing. And plus, also, the gate is always open for new people to come in.
That's
isn't it?
right. That's
So,
right. Yeah. Always
Okay.
open. Always.
Just pan round of the pits. Okay. So now he's put a few laps in. Max.
I think the smile said it all.
I think the smile said it all. So maybe if we can, once he's sorted his car out, maybe we can have a bit of a chat. We promise not to gang up on you. Okay. It's not live. It's recorded, so you're okay. So.
We can edit the bit where you swear.
So Max, okay, making a return. How's it been?
Fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that should be in every kind of model car rule book, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's fun first. So you've beat this chap here before, okay? So you fancy another crack at him?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. The car going well?
Yeah.
And I take it. It's one of your cars, isn't
Yeah.
it? So it's one of your cars. So
Yeah.
it's not just keeping it in the family. How long have you been have you always been following that oval racing,
Yeah.
stock car racing?
Yeah, I've always been involved with oval racing
Mm-hmm.
since I was very young.
And who would be? Because in this sport, people will follow teams, they'll follow manufacturers, but here it's about following a driver, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who did you used to follow full size and which particular formula?
Well, I used to follow Dan Squire
Uh-huh.
in the full-size Formula One.
Yeah.
He doesn't race anymore, but he was a very good driver.
Yeah.
These days I follow my Uncle Luke.
Okay.
My car's actually a replica of his.
Right, let's have a quick look. So that's a replica of your uncle, yes, race number and everything. Because people will follow certain people, and they'll even buy the jackets and the shirts with the race number on, won't they?
Yeah.
So do you get to go to many full size meetings?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you normally go to watch some racing?
All sorts, really. Kings Lynn.
Kings Lane, yeah.
We used to go to Coventry a lot.
Yes, Coventry Stadium, yes.
But that's obviously closed.
That's
now.
not open anymore, no.
Um,
Do you ever go to Birmingham Wheels, being that it's in the Midlands?
Yeah, I used to race at Birmingham Wheels.
Right, you used to race. So from the model car racing, you then explored into, what did you used to go and do?
I used to race Ninja Karts.
Ninja Karts. Can you tell me a bit about that class?
They are a non-contact junior formula. They're not no gears or anything. They only run off like a little Honda Pull Start engine.
Okay, so a bit like maybe a karting engine, similar to?
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, it is a go-kart like chassis with a roll cage on it basically.
Okay, excellent. I spoke to somebody at the Peterborough show, a young lad called Jake, 279 I think his number was, and he was the same age as our very successful Noah Bailey.
Yes.
Okay, up and coming star, doing really well, junior world champion in F2, more trophies than you can shake a stick at, and doing really well. Such an amazing character for a person. I take it you've heard, you've met, and probably raced against Noah.
Yeah.
And he got pally with this gentleman called Jake, who was the same age, and he was racing Ninja Karts, and he'd also gone on to micro F2s.
Yes.
Was that something? Because you've not just raced Ninja Karts, have you?
No,
What else have you raced?
I raced Briscoe mini stocks for a very short time, but didn't really like them. So
No. Is that where you take basically a purpose-built mini, as in like it looks like a mini, but it's a roll cage on wheels type
yeah,
of thing?
pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your next venture apart from beating this chap here?
Hopefully junior world champion again.
Ooh, excellent. Super stuff. So we'll be seeing you at the circuits outside in the summer then. Excellent. Glad you're coming back.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it. Excellent. Super. Great. It was a pleasure to speak to you. We're supposed to get some cars out there and have some playtime. I think we'll just set the camera and just, we'll see what it's made of, shall we? All right, pleasure. Right in. Guys, thank you very much.
Cheers,
we will be back on air, or we will be around about promoting what we do best, stock car racing.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, guys. All the best. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Al.
Okay, we'll speak to you all soon from the BRCA. We should be around and about somewhere at a circuit, promoting the sport, doing what we do best, and hopefully you can come and see us, come and join us, and or look us up on our website or on our Facebook pages. Thank you very much.